Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackenberger, and our co-host, Jon Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Hey, everybody. Bill Krackenberger. Welcome to Wise Kracks. We have me here in Las Vegas and, unbelievably, Jon Orlando over in my area there in New York City. What's going on there, Jon?
It's crazy, right? We've switched roles here. I'm on the East Coast.
No, I'm actually heading there. Actually, today after the show, I'm headed out that way. We got a lot of things going on. There's a big contest at DraftKings. College basketball starting, so looking forward to terrorizing some bookmakers. But let me just tell you, Jon, it's been a week where I've gotten more phone calls, text messages. Even this morning, a guy text messaged me. As a matter of fact, Jon, just to give you a random example, all right? Just watched, you could see there, just watched show with Jon Orlando, with Jon Orlando's dad. He said Jon's dad. It was great.
I like that part.
I actually got choked up listening to him so eloquently talks about how he got started and the accidental breaks he came in. He actually got choked up. This is a Hollywood guy too.
Wow.
This guy is the guy that, this guy, he's on the set of Sopranos. He was in a Sopranos episode, and he's a poker consultant. He's been around a long time, and it was a very good compliment though. So that's just one of a dozen. So that was definitely our biggest show.
I got tons.
Tony
of
Orlando
feedback.
Fans, they found out stuff they never knew from your dad's retweeting it. His fans came in and they found out stuff they never knew. It's over 2 hours of great information, Jon, and it was a really big. It was a really big. You don't even know. I haven't talked to you. It was a really big show for me personally. Brought me back to my New York roots and my mom and my parents, just old school way of living, and it just was. It was fantastic, and I cherish it, and I'll remember that forever.
Man, I loved doing that one, and thank you for. I think either the night before or the day of, I said to you, "This is going to be a long show because I just know my dad," and you said, "Go as long as you want," and I think we did. I don't know, 2 hours and change.
Yes.
And aside from being a great show, I really love that, we had a father-son kind of legacy piece there with you. You make the most sense to do that type of show with my dad. And thank you, because that's something I'll always have. The three of us.
There was some great things that you didn't know about your dad, which I can't believe that that was revealed to you right there in front of me on a live,
Isn't that
podcast.
Crazy when you think about it? Like,
wow,
I'm 51 and like something I didn't know. Like it really says a lot, right? It's like, man, I need to do the 6 more hours with him.
Great.
Yeah, it was fun.
A people person who went to dinner that night, had a great meal, enjoyed it, and went to an old school place. Yeah, those guys up there that own the Tuscany Grill, Lou and Mike, they loved it too. They've been in town for a long time, and it was a great night all around. It's a great day, great night. So thank you again.
And I told you, he told me specifically, he texted me that night, and he said, "Please send Bill my phone number and tell him, text me, call me whenever he wants." So
you know what, though, Jon, I'm weird. I never want to bother him or anything, so I didn't call him.
No, it doesn't. He loves it. I promise.
Yeah, he called me. He called me.
Did he?
He called me and left me a great voice. It came from a blocked number, so I didn't know what it was. Left me a great voicemail. It was so good. It was very touching, actually. It was a really good a voicemail he left me, and I texted him back and forth. And I will call him. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, he's
really
great.
Cool. Well, listen, we got a great show today. We're excited about our guest. He's one of the new, these new young guns that from working for DraftKings, and he's got his own show, his own podcast. He hosts a great podcast, actually. I love that he goes so in depth about each. I like to know, somehow he finds out from DraftKings what their exposure is on games. I like that. I like to know where the real money is. You hear this stuff around the internet, but I like to really know and I'm sure he gets the real deal stuff there from DraftKings. So his name is Julian Edlow, and he'll be on with us. And look forward to that. What else is going on? World Series is over.
Yeah.
Yep.
The World Series, man.
World Series is over. I'm glad Atlanta won, actually.
Me too.
I don't know. I got that. My mind still says Houston's cheaters, even though I know it's a lot of different of the organizations, a little bit different. But I'm glad Atlanta won. I didn't bet them. I wasn't even rooting for them. I didn't watch a game. It's amazing. After the Dodgers got knocked out, even myself, I wanted the Dodgers or Red Sox. It just didn't appeal to me, this World Series, Braves and Astros. It just didn't appeal to me at all. This team, 88 and 74. That's who won the World Series. The Dodgers and San Fran won 106 games. It didn't appeal to me. I'm sure it didn't appeal to the broadcasters and stuff too. The networks. So I'm sure they wanted like the Dodgers in there.
Bill, I'm a diehard baseball guy, as you know. I mean, I can watch a doubleheader on a Saturday, an ESPN opening day triple-header. I can watch all 3 games and not even leave the couch. I didn't watch a single World Series game.
Wow.
I only saw highlights. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, me too.
Crazy, right?
I had no interest in it. Some big news now. Aaron Rodgers with COVID. So,
man,
you know me from a sports betting standpoint. I only looked at this game. Yeah, moved from 2.5 to 7. There's 8s in town now today, and I'm sure it'll move more. It's a 6-7 point move by the time it's over. You know what? I'm not real big on Kansas City, to be honest with you. So I let it keep moving. I may actually have one of my first sides for the year, and by taking. Green Bay. I mean, they're starting a number 1 draft pick. So I mean, not number 1, but I mean, their first draft pick. Love was the QB there. At one time, Rodgers was so upset about this kid being the Green Bay's first draft pick that you didn't know what was going to happen here at the beginning of the season if he wanted to get traded or something. So. I don't know. This sounds a little bit irresponsible. Now, I like Aaron Rodgers. I actually do like the guy, but it sounds a little bit irresponsible from what I'm reading. So he's not vaccinated, and which I have no opinion on, by the way. He's not vaccinated, but he was, he said he had like good cocktails of some strong stuff that he felt that he was inoculated and he was almost above the vaccine or something. So I really don't like that. I like, this is a $1 billion franchise that he's responsible for. He's like the CEO of a company. And, maybe he should have been a little more responsible to his not his fans. How about his teammates? Of course, the fans too. Green Bay's got a great fan support there in that area. And, I just think that's a little bit selfish, but we'll see what happens. Speaking of selfish.
Is he out? Is Aaron out just for this game, or is it multiple games? Do we know?
Probably a few games. He's probably going to be out for a few games.
What were you going to say? Speaking of selfish,
Speaking of selfish, you've seen. Did you hear what happened yesterday in Vegas? The bad car crash.
It's unbelievable to me. I wasn't sure if you were going to bring it up, so I wasn't going to bring it up.
It's I know it's a sensitive subject. Everyone's talking about it, though. I mean,
why is it so hard? Why is it so hard for a lot of these athletes to just not get into trouble? Why is it so hard? I don't understand. You have all this opportunity in front of you, all this incredible, your life is mapping to be incredible, right? And you drink too much and you just can't get an Uber, or you can't have a friend drive.
And you got to drive 150 miles an hour. It came out today. He was doing 150.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
That came out this morning. I mean, it's just so irresponsible. Listen,
it's got to be better than that.
I try not to be out
they're young.
I try not to be out past midnight. I just don't. I want to.
Like Mom always said, nothing good happens after midnight, right?
Yeah, I want to put a spin on this. It's going to be crazy, though, John.
Yeah,
I'm not letting him off the hook, but I'm not going to say that the organization is not a little bit responsible too. You have to understand the NFL, when they announced the team coming to Vegas or wanted a team to come to Vegas, they were petrified of
this.
All these kids coming to this big party town. And they talked about having designated drivers, but now that was the off season. You don't think during the season when you have practice, you'd be out 3 a.m. drinking and driving. But I'm not blaming the Raiders either. I'm just saying there would have to be maybe some options available, limousines available for all the players whenever they want. They're kids in the number one party town in America. Listen, I know every town's a party town. LA, wherever these big teams play, they're all party towns. Miami, you can go to New York. I understand that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Vegas really is the number one party town in America. So there may have been a lack of the money may have gotten in the way here, and they just forgot. Oh yeah, these are kids in their 20s that like to party and enjoy life, and they got tons of money thrown at them, and girls and fast times, and it's a travesty. I'm sorry. Yeah, it really is. Travesty is the wrong word, though. It's a terrible thing for the family of the person who passed away, who died in this accident, more than anything. But it's also just an interesting thing. He's got a great attorney, got the best attorney in Las Vegas, for sure. And we'll see what happens here. The Raiders let him go already. I'm sure his career is over, and we'll see if he gets jail time, how much time he gets. And it's really a sad thing. It really is. It really upsets me tremendously for Vegas. It upsets me. It looks like it's a big black, it's a black mark on Las Vegas. It's a black eye. It really is.
Do you remember a baseball player named Josh Hamilton?
I do.
Josh Hamilton was like a phenom. I think he came up in the Reds organization, and then he had a really bad heroin addiction. And he was out of baseball for, don't quote me on the length of time, I want to say somewhere between 3 and 5 years out of baseball.
Did he go to the Rangers? Or am I thinking of the wrong guy?
He went, that's
I remember him.
So the Rangers gave him a shot, and the Rangers, and then he may have ended up with the Angels too at some point, but I believe either the Rangers or the Angels, I think it was the Rangers, they hired a guy full-time to just basically be his shadow full-time.
Wow.
So
he was a great player. He was good.
Great player.
Yeah. I remember
and a good guy. Unfortunately, he had he had a really bad addiction, and it's tough to kick. But they went through every possible, scenario, and they were like, you know what? It makes sense to protect the investment. These guys are making millions of dollars. Let's even though he's a grown man, let's have someone with him 24/7 so that we don't have this type of thing happen.
I just think they could have had something in place where they would have a 24/7. Hey guys, if anyone needs a limo, we got a limo for you. Take you anywhere you want to go. So I'm not letting them. I'm not letting them off the hook. I'm just saying that the NFL was in fear of this happening for opposing teams, for the home team, and it played out already here after. This is really the first year the players were going out. Last year was a COVID year, so here you have not even halfway in the season and this happening. It's terrible.
Now, Crack, let me ask you this. We haven't talked in a week. Dak Prescott didn't play, yet my Cowboys still rose to the occasion. Have you accepted yet, Bill Krackenberger, that the Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl this year?
Well, no, I haven't accepted they're going to the Super Bowl. But they listen, that was a wise guy side for the week. Minnesota was bet up from a 1-point dog to a literally like a 4-point favorite by game time. So absolutely, that was one of the wise guys, and the squares both bet that game. That game in Indianapolis, both moved 4 or 5 points. Both of them lost outright. So the early money doesn't get the money all the time. And that absolutely, Dallas played a good game, and they won. It's amazing all these things that happened last week in the NFL, but it's not too. The Bengals knocked out 80% of the survivor pools, and a lot of the people here in town knocked out 800 of 2,100 people in the survivor pool. Football is so crazy. The Bengals won by 24 and 23 points the previous 2 weeks on the road, beat Baltimore at home in Baltimore. And now they go to the Jets, who starting a backup quarterback. The line went from literally 3.5. They announced the quarterback out to 11.5 and 12 before.
What was
right
the
at
money
kickoff.
line?
Yeah,
Do you know?
I don't know, but probably 5
Had to
to
be
1. I mean,
5 to 1, 6 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah. But this was a giant game for the sports books, by the way. Big game for the sports books. Everyone likes to use like games like that, double-digit favorites in their money line parlays and teasers. Giant game, big week for the books. That was also one of the games. And it just the Jets are again a double-digit dog Thursday night now against Indianapolis. So the Lions also. Yep. Go ahead.
Sorry, that game was when I say bet the house, that was one of those, the easy game of the week to pick, right? Jets are going to lose. That was the easy free money. Bet the big, right? And then that just goes to show you, like you always say, on any given Sunday.
Yep. And the Lions also were 3.5-point underdog. The game moved to 3 by game time. 0-17, but I thought this was a good spot for them. And, they really took the Rams. They looked like they were going to beat the Rams the week before in L.A. They played Minnesota down to the wire. They got beat by by that long 66-yard record-breaking field goal versus Baltimore. Here they're plus 3.5 at home to a so-so Eagle team. The Eagles blew them out. Worst loss of the year. It's the reason why I say any given Sunday, anything can and will happen. So, it's the NFL. So, you pay really a close attention to those lines too. Buffalo Bills and the Rams. If you bet them on Sunday, you would have lost by half a point or a full point. If you bet them on Saturday or previous, you would have got to push it worse. Probably a win. So you got to check those late line moves, especially. Don't be betting marquee teams like these teams right at game time when all the public's also betting it. So
I do want to talk about crack wins, and I want to tell you a funny story. So I'm in New York right now for this big NFT conference. I know the NFTs probably aren't really on your radar screen yet, Bill Krackomberger, but they will be. But I'm here. I think I told you I became the CEO of Maxim NFT a couple of months ago. And, like Maxim, like the magazine. And that Maxim also has Maxim Bet. They've launched their own sports betting site. So I was talking to one of the guys that works at Maxim Bet to this morning at breakfast. And we were talking, and he was asking what I do. I told him, I co-host the show Wise Kracks with Bill Krackomberger. And he says, Bill Krackomberger, the sports bettor? I said, yeah, the guy that you're probably going to end up banning from your site at some point. But I was telling him how how you were showing me a few weeks ago how you could make a $200 bet and the lines move. And he was fascinated by this. He's new to the sports betting world. He's working, in marketing for this site. So he's not really on everything yet. And I was telling him, and he was in disbelief. He did not believe me that Bill Krackomberger, just off of who you are, could just make a simple, tiny $200 bet, and it changes the whole line. He was fascinated by it, though. But it reminds me to tell everyone over there at Crack Wins that just think about that. The sports betting sites are afraid of Bill Krackomberger, and you can get all of his knowledge and wisdom by going to thecrackwins.com or downloading Crack Wins app on Apple or Google. It's got everything. This guy's crushing it. And my friend Johnny Cocktails is proof, because he calls me every week and says, had another big week, Johnny boy. Krackomberger. Every week.
Well, I hope he's really going to pay attention to the next couple of weeks, because I think the college basketball is going to be unbelievable this year. I think we're really going to have the first month. Really, I'm going back to AC just for college basketball sports betting. I can get more money down there than I can here, as you witnessed when I bet some of the sports books. I was betting 1,000 at that time when you seen. I bet 2 sports books. They moved. The whole screen moved. If you bet the key sports books, they know Bill Krackomberger is going to bet. Is betting. Then, of course, you got places like the Westgate Circle. They respect me, and they move off me. And therefore, other sports books respect them and move off air. They don't take a bet. They just see those movements. So there's a methodical way normally to get down. That's not the way I normally do it. I just showed you that day of what happened. So, yeah, look forward to college basketball here and starting up here next week. And, again, even with the NFL stuff, NFL's been bailing me out every week. College football, it has been just so. I think we're like, even Teresa, where we're 5-3, then we were 3-3. But yet NFL, I've had a streak where like every week I'm winning the NFL totals. I'm winning first half totals. I'm winning the props. really good stuff. So it's been a decent season for me, and look for it to get better here with college basketball. Want to talk about WSN because I'm going to be going to Colorado here sooner or later. I may go after Thanksgiving because I have to go back to Jersey now. They have some great bonuses on WSN.com. That $7,500 bonus that was available is still there on the site. So I was just looking at the site. I mean, there's so many bonuses. It's not just there, though. It's all over the country. WSN.com has the greatest they negotiate the greatest bonus deals I see the things they advertise these sites on TV. They're better on WSN. So I actually don't really understand how they have different deals for everybody. But WSN seems to me has the best deals. Not only that, great articles, great information. You should make it a part of your daily routine of checking out WSN.com for all your gambling needs. All right, now for our guests, without further ado here, let's welcome the guest to the show, Julian Edlow. He's the content specialist for DraftKings, and he's also the host of the podcast, The Unreasonable Odds. Welcome, Julian, to Wise Kracks. Appreciate having you on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, cool, man. Listen, we always ask our guests, again, great to have you on. Always ask our guests, though, you're from the gambling space here. You're in the gambling space here, I meant to say. DraftKings, I see your hat on there. Are you in DraftKings land there in Boston?
I am based out of Boston, Mass. Obviously, over the last couple of years, a lot less in-office work, a lot of home studio stuff, as we all have been, but we're kind of getting back into it. Our Sunday morning show, NFL, obviously, the sweat. We're doing it out of the studio. We're getting into the studio a little bit more for the Unreasonable Odds podcast, which you mentioned I host. So getting back into the swing of things. But I am based out of the Boston DraftKings HQ. Although, as we were chatting about before we went on, the Vegas office, which was, a little Hoboken, New Jersey office, a little Vegas office, has now become the big Vegas office, almost a replica of Boston. So I'm staying put here. I'm a New England guy, but if it means some Vegas trips out to the big office, I'm fine with that.
Cool. Well, that's what I was going to ask you too, Julian. How did you get your start? What did you do? How old are you? And how did you get into this gambling space? Sports.
Yeah, so I'm 34. And coming out of college, I was just doing marketing for a hospital. Felt fortunate to have a job in 2010. A lot of the kids I was graduating college with weren't getting jobs at the time. It was tough. But I always had my eyes set on being in the sports industry, not necessarily in betting at the time. And got going just by I hit a point where it was like, you're in your early mid 20s. I'm like, all right, nobody's going to knock on my door and ask me if I want to work in sports. Got to get the ball moving. So started my own blog covering the Celtics actually, and then started getting asked to write for bigger and bigger Celtics blogs. WEI, one of the local media outlets here in Boston. This is when nobody wanted to cover the Celtics. This is after they trade Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett away. So that's how you get your foot in the door. And then you start covering the draft because now you want to stink and you want to get a good draft pick. This is the Andrew Wiggins, Jabari Parker, Joel Embiid draft. Got going with my own draft column with WEI, and eventually you just stick around long enough. It's, hey, this guy can't cover this game. This guy can't cover this practice. And then you got your foot in the door. So slowly started building that up. Being a beat writer is tough, man. I don't know if you guys have any experience there or friends that do that. But the travel, the go to practice, go home, hang out, go to the game to cover it, that's a lot of time. So I knew I wanted to move around. Reach out to DraftKings, started doing some fantasy work for them as strictly a fantasy company at the time. And then obviously DK Sportsbook got going. Places other than Vegas became legal to bet on sports. And when that happened, I guess our content team hadn't really put as much thought as we should have into how we're going to cover this. And as somebody that was always interested in gambling, a casual bettor, I just kind of put my hand up and was like, hey, I'll take some of this content, this best bets or this NFL trends. And here we are. Now this is the first season I've been with DraftKings. I've been with DraftKings since 2015. This is the first year I don't have a DFS article in my weekly repertoire right now. Last year I had some NFL and some NBA. This is the first year that I'm all in on the sportsbook side of things and really enjoying it.
Cool, man. Cool. Jon, you have a question, or I can start going?
Yeah, I do. Actually, that was a good segue. You just mentioned sportsbook. I'm curious. Do you have a favorite sportsbook where you like to place bets?
Well, that would be DraftKings Sportsbook, of course.
Are you allowed to? Are you allowed to, though?
Yeah.
So I was just going to say, full disclosure, I've been a full-time employee of DraftKings since February of 2021. So as of February, I am not personally betting on DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, I can bet on any other platform that I want. So, I want to try and.
That's unfortunate, though. You guys, DraftKings. I'll tell you right now, I love DraftKings Sportsbook.
So that's where I was going with it. Like, there was a wide gap there where DraftKings Sportsbook was open for business, and I was freelancing there, which I was a content contributor still for DraftKings, but able to bet on DraftKings Sportsbook. And DraftKings Sportsbook is genuinely my favorite place to bet. I'm on here wearing a DraftKings hat, coming to you from DraftKings. So believe me if you want to. Don't believe me if you don't. But Crack will tell you, he came on my podcast and talked up why he likes betting on DraftKings, and I'm sure he does it on this podcast. So the stuff, they give you a wide range of things to bet on. Like we talked about, you get primetime props for any game you want. It's up on DraftKings. There's other books out there. You'll always be able to find a better line, somewhere than DraftKings at times if you're looking for certain things. But like, if you're somebody that's putting $500 into one account and that's where you want to build your bankroll, I would genuinely suggest DraftKings.
And the reason why you're saying that, Jon, is that there's so many different ways to bet games, but there's also the promos and the boost that these sports books are offering on the East Coast. DraftKings is probably the leader in that. So, yeah.
The boosts and the bonuses are crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like especially if you're a casual bettor, like if you're betting $25, $50, every other night on DraftKings, there's going to be a promo that's a $25 to $50 giveaway, like over zero in the Georgia Clemson game. We didn't see many points in that game, but you could bet $50 on over zero and it cashed. So like you're going to get some of those every week, which is nice. We just did. So I'm not a baseball guy, but I sprinkle on some World Series MVPs every year. Gave out the Jorge Soler plus 3,500, which was awesome.
Wow.
Out there, but DraftKings was giving you 20% bonuses on World Series MVPs. So some of the people that showed me their tickets in response, obviously I couldn't get it. They were getting plus 4,200 on that.
I seen it last night on Twitter. Plus 4,200 people got. Yep.
4,200 with the bonus there. Like the bonuses and the free bets and stuff come into play.
Now, wait a minute, Julian. Are you allowed to live in Boston and not be a baseball guy? How's that work out?
Look, I'm a baseball guy. I'm a Red Sox fan. I would say they're my third team. I had a lot of fun going to a couple of those playoff games. I was at the all year. I hadn't been to Fenway Park in almost 2 years, I guess. So I said for a few weeks as the buildup started to happen, like if the Yankees go to Fenway Park for a wild card game, I will open my wallet and go to that game. That'll be a fun time. And it lined up. It happened. I went, bet Red Sox first 5, Red Sox full game. It all got there. The crowd was awesome. Like Fenway Park is fun. I used to be a vendor at Fenway Park. You asked me about my background in college.
Really?
When I was home from school in college, going up the stairs, carrying the Cracker Jacks, the Coke, the water bottles on your head. That was a fun little college job. But yeah, I enjoy baseball. I'm a casual baseball bettor. But basketball and football are definitely my focus.
And the last question for me, and then I'll shut up. And this is not because I'm a Dodger fan. I'm not asking you this question, but since the World Series just wrapped and those cheating Astros lost, I'm curious to see if you feel that that's actually good for baseball, that the Astros lost and that the Braves were able to beat them. Is it good for baseball that the cheaters lost?
I think it's good for baseball that, put it this way, I think it's better for baseball that the Braves won than the Astros lost, maybe. But also the Astros were getting a bit repetitive. So even if they hadn't been cheating, I think the Astros getting knocked out was a good thing. But the fact that we know about them, what we know about them, I don't think an Astros victory would have been necessarily the best thing. But it proves I was just saying to someone, I'm obviously a huge Celtics fan. I have a background covering them. I went to, my first time back in the Garden after a long time, the TD Garden here in Boston. I say the Garden, people in New York get pissed. But my first time in the TD Garden back here in Boston was for a Celtics Nets playoff game. And it was the one that they actually won in that series. They lost 4-1, a gentleman's sweep. But like, you're going to those games knowing the Celtics have no chance of beating the Nets. It took a Harden injury, an Irving injury, and a Kevin Durant foot on the line for the Bucks to beat the Nets. So like, you just kind of know that. Whereas in baseball, you have a team like the Braves who were under 500 in July and they win the World Series. So like, just being able to keep that door open, I think always makes baseball interesting compared to some of the other sports.
Yeah, totally.
Let me ask you about this before we let you go here, because I want to give you a little shout out for that podcast. Thanks for having me on. And so let me ask you, so what is your podcast? Where can people find it? Can they find it on the internet? And tell the people a little bit about it. Like, what do you guys do? Unreasonable Odds.
The Unreasonable Odds podcast. We had a great time having you on, Bill. We hope to have you back sometime. We'll work that out. Sure. Basically, we started it a couple of years ago at DraftKings under a different name. I always had hopes and dreams of rebranding it, and we did that. And we're having guests like yourself on throughout the gambling industry to kind of share some knowledge. Because the gambling industry is blowing up, like at state by state, just keeps becoming legal for DraftKings Sportsbook and other places. Like, welcome to Connecticut now is on the map. We got a DraftKings Sportsbook over there at Foxwoods. So as this gambling industry grows, we want to grow it with our podcast in terms of the people that we bring on and introduce our listeners and viewers to. We want to share overall knowledge like you yourself brought on, and just a guy that's been around the gambling industry forever and have that type of stuff. We want to bring people on that are going to give good picks, sharp information, and make it, kind of a staple in the sports betting podcast industry. And the one question that kind of keeps coming up there is, why take picks or plays that are coming from a sportsbook platform? I think that's the one that people always get nervous about. Why is DraftKings going to give you winners? Well, number one, most of you are betting, your casual bettors, like giving you $25, $50, $100 winners is not going to break the book. Second of all, we can give out, a 3-0 NFL week, and you yourself can take it and then run with your money and go rogue and kind of give some away on some bad plays. We genuinely want to help people make money. Like, my reputation to me, I love my job at DraftKings, but my reputation to me is more important than anything. So like, I don't want to be a guy that's giving out losers from a sports book and making the sports book money. I want to help bettors. I want to help people learn. So, we're genuine. And one thing that we do, 2 quick pitches before I get out of here, we give away free bets, and we're going to be doing that this week on Unreasonable Odds. So we alternate weeks giving away tickets to the Millionaire Maker on the DFS side and weeks that we give away $50 free bets. So this week, I think we're going to give away another $50 free bets to listeners on Friday. We did that 2 weeks ago. A guy sent me his screenshot. He made a 14 parlay out of his $50 free bet. He made $1,500. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people out. And this week, I'm sure you guys know, we have the Sports Betting National Championships live from New Jersey for DraftKings. So I will be in Weehawken, New Jersey on site from Thursday to Monday covering the event. We're going to have the Unreasonable Odds podcast on site on Friday. We're going to have some guests from VSiN who are there covering it live. We're going to have Johnny Avello, the director of race and sportsbook operations at DraftKings Sportsbook. That's going to be a really fun event, and we're going to be giving away free bets. So looking forward to that.
I got a surprise for you, Julian. In 2 hours and 20 minutes, I knew that
you were going to say you were on a flight to it.
Yeah, I'm getting on a plane, and I am going to be going to Atlantic City to take part and put up my 10 grand and take part in this. I think it might be an overlay situation. I don't know that per se, but 10,000 a person. I know they only had like 60 people as of like Monday. So I don't know how many. Do you know? Do you have an idea or guess how many people are in it?
I don't have the updated numbers in front of me. I can try and find them out and let you know. But yeah, there's not that many people in it, which is a little surprising because the last one you could only be in New Jersey for it. Yeah. Whereas this one you can be in almost any legal DraftKings state, although the event itself is being held in New Jersey.
John, what he's saying is there's a $10,000 per person tournament, they're guaranteeing $2 million. So they need 200 people to break even. So I'm going to go take a shot at that. You actually put money in an account, which is 5,000 of it's real money. It goes in your real money account. 5,000 goes towards the contest prize. But the real money account, obviously, you're going to be in a situation where you have to build that up to win. But whatever you have left at the end of the 3-day contest is yours to keep. And whoever comes in financially, top prize is $1 million to winner. I think it's $250,000 a second, and up down to the 25th prize of $10,000 to get your 10 grand back. So that's why I'm going to Jersey. One of the reasons I was going to go next week for college basketball. I'm going a little bit early, and I'm about 90% sure I'm going to be in this contest. I do rather get a grasp on how many people are going to be in it. It's a situation where you're probably going to go broke because you're probably going to bet. At least me, I'm going all in. And then all in again.
You want to swing for the fences and go for the big money. And if the account gets emptied, the account gets emptied.
Yeah. So I have like 5 people reaching out for me. Oh, I'll take 10%. I'll take 10%. I'll take that. Like so many people want percentages. I actually wish that they would join and I take a piece of them. I'd rather than give away, so many percentages of something that's positive like that. But,
So and I will say this, you can enter that if you want to wait and see how many people are in it. You can enter it not only right up to the last second, but you can enter it on Saturday and it starts on Friday night. So you can let the contest start at, I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday, see who's there and then say, all right, I want in.
Wow. Cool.
Crack, I have a question. If you do enter something like that and if you did sell a piece, do you charge a markup for people?
Like a World Series.
I feel like you
John's
should.
relating it to poker, like the main event of the World Series.
I feel like you should.
I don't listen. No? It's not what Bill Krackenberger does. My life is based on helping people anyway. So I'll give 10% for the $1,000. But it's a good question, John, because people are doing that for the World Series. There's so much dead money in the main event. So I do understand that question. But well, listen, great to have you on, Julian, and appreciate you coming on with us and look forward to maybe I might even see you up there in Weehawken. I may take a ride up.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're going to AC, but if you make it to the on-site event, I know we're going to have food, we're going to have drinks, we're going to have a whole sports book setting out in that ballroom in the hotel there. So yeah, hope to see you there.
Another good one, Crack. Another good one is in the books.
Yeah, John. Good guest there. I like to get as much information. I was trying to get out of him how many people are in this contest because I'm not going to get in it if there's 200 people in it.
Number?
It's 200. I'm not getting in. I'm not getting in if there's more than 200. I'm not getting in it. So I just don't. It's so hard to concentrate on that and have a busy weekend of sports betting. It's so hard to focus on that contest and stuff. So we'll see what happens there. John, before we go here, so you have this like violet hue on you of New York City. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. I told you earlier during the break. I was telling John, one of my childhood movies, Willy Wonka. He looks like Violet. Violet, you're turning violet. But show everyone, flip around real quick, and show everyone. Look at the view from John's room.
It's incredible.
Look at that. Now that's
look at the city.
When you get lost between the road and New York City, you find John Orlando.
Yeah, look at this one. Look at this one.
Oh yeah. Wow.
How about this one?
Incredible,
right?
Hudson. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Even the clouds are beautiful and the skyline. Absolutely beautiful. Great job. All right, guys. Well, listen, appreciate you guys watching. John and I'll catch you next week. I'll be over where he is. He'll be over where I am. So catch you next week on Wise Kracks.